Good evening, everybody, and welcome to this evening's tropical update on the Atlantic Basin. So, the Atlantic Basin is about to explode as we have 5 areas that we need to watch in the Atlantic. So, looking at Disturbance 3 in the western Gulf of Mexico as of 8 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, Saturday, August the 19th, 2023. An area of disturbed weather located over the Florida Peninsula is expected to move into the Gulf of Mexico by early next week, where a broad area of low pressure is expected to form. Some slow development of the system is possible thereafter, and a tropical depression could form as it moves westward and approaches the western Gulf of Mexico coastline by the middle of next week. Formation chance through 48 hours is low at 20%, and formation chance through 7 days is medium at 50%. So if you live across from Mississippi, Louisiana, Texas to northern Mexico, make sure you're really monitoring this disturbance really closely. And we have an area over the Lesser Antilles around Barbados through St. Vincent and the Grenadines and Grenada. This disturbance has been named Invest 90L as of 8 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, Saturday, August the 19th, 2023. Shower and thunderstorm activity continues in association with an area of low pressure near the Windward Islands. Some additional development of the system is likely, and a tropical depression could form by early next week while the system moves westward to west-northwestward at 10 to 15 miles per hour over the eastern and central Caribbean Sea. Regardless of development, heavy rainfall is possible over portions of the Windward Islands during the next couple of days. Interest in the eastern and central Caribbean should monitor the progress of the system. Formation chance through 48 hours is medium at 50%, and formation chance through 7 days is high at 70%. So if you live anywhere across Hispaniola, Puerto Rico, the Virgin Islands, and the Windward Islands, you need to be really watching Invest 90L closely. And then we have Tropical Depression 6, which formed earlier today, with maximum sustained winds of 35 miles per hour, a minimum central pressure of 1,006 millibars, and west-northwesterly movement at 16 miles per hour. As of 5 p.m. Atlantic Standard Time, Saturday, August the 19th, we have Invest 98L to its east. Shower and thunderstorm activity continues to become better organized in association with a broad area of low pressure located several hundred miles west of the Cabo Verde Islands. Environmental conditions appear generally favorable for further development, and a short-lived tropical depression is likely to form within the next day or so, while it moves west-northwestward or northwestward at about 10 miles per hour across the eastern tropical Atlantic. By early next week, upper-level winds over the system are forecast to increase, and further development is not expected. Formation chance through 48 hours is high at 70%, and formation chance through 7 days is also high at 70% with Invest 98L. And then we have yet another disturbance coming off of Africa with a 30% chance of tropical cyclone formation over the next 7 days. So getting into these models, first looking at the 18Z run of the GFS model. Looking at this evening, we have several tropical waves in the Atlantic, including Invest 90L and 98L, and the disturbance moving to the Gulf as of Saturday evening. And as we go into Sunday, we're going to see potentially a tropical depression form in the main development region with Invest 98L, and we could see a tropical depression from Invest 90L west of the Windward Islands by Sunday. And going into Monday, we could see further development of the system in the Caribbean, while the system in the main development region dissipates due to wind shear. And then here comes the next system off of Africa Tuesday, and our Gulf system moving towards Texas and Mexico by early Tuesday morning, bringing some very heavy rain. Although the GFS does not develop the system in the Gulf, the sea surface temperatures and lack of wind shear are likely going to result in a tropical depression or storm in South Texas by Tuesday. And meanwhile, our Caribbean system is really getting its act together Tuesday, and we could see a tropical storm by Tuesday impacting Hispaniola. Going into Wednesday, we could see a strengthening tropical storm moving through the Dominican Republic and Puerto Rico, with tropical storms in the central Atlantic with the other two systems. And going into Thursday, we could see a potential hurricane north of the Caribbean with a tropical storm in the main development region, and then we could see this become a hurricane, a strong hurricane by Saturday, and could even see a major hurricane by next Sunday moving to the northwest. So this model takes it into Canada, but this is 10 days out, so take that with a grain of salt. The point is the Atlantic Basin is about to explode. Looking at the European model for the Atlantic Basin over the next several days, the European model develops Invest 98L to a tropical depression or storm by tomorrow, and then as we go into Monday and Tuesday, the Euro weakens 98L and keeps the system in the Caribbean disorganized. And then going to Wednesday, we see the Caribbean Invest 90L move across Hispaniola, bringing torrential rains to the islands. And then the European model develops this system moving off of Africa into Thursday and Friday. Could see a hurricane, possibly in the central Atlantic, and affecting no land, thankfully. And then finally looking at the Canadian model for the Atlantic Basin. So the Canadian model doesn't really have a view of the Atlantic, but as we go into a Monday, we see our Invest 90L move across the central Caribbean, bringing torrential rains to Hispaniola and Puerto Rico. Going into Wednesday, we could see the Invest 90L develop into a tropical storm in the Canadian and even a hurricane as we go into Friday and Saturday. So, and then we could even see another hurricane moving to the west by Sunday with the system coming off of Africa. So the Atlantic Basin is about to go crazy. So if you live across the Gulf Coast, if you live across the Windward Islands into Puerto Rico and Hispaniola, make sure you're really monitoring these two systems in particular, as these are likely going to have some impacts on land, especially the Caribbean system with flooding rainfall. Thanks for watching. Please stay safe and have a wonderful evening, my friends.